Jose Garcia Villa, a Filipino poet, critic, short story writer, and painter, is an important person to recognize during Filipino-American History Month. Villa was born on August 5, 1908, in Manila's Singalong district. His parents were Simeon Villa, a personal physician of Emilio Aguinaldo, the founding president of the First Philippine Republic, and Gia Garcia, a wealthy landowner. In 1946, Villa married Rosemary Lamb, with whom he had two sons, Randall and Lance. They annulled their marriage 10 years later. He also had three grandchildren, Jordan Villa, Sarah Villa Strokes, and Travis Villa. Villa was especially close to his nieces, Ruby Priscilla, Milagros Villanueva, Maria Luisa Cohen, and Maria Villanueva. He graduated from the University of the Philippines Integrated School and the University of the Philippines High School in 1925. Villa enrolled on a pre-medical course in the University of the Philippines, but then switched to pre-law course. However, he realized that his true passion was in the arts. Villa first tried painting, but then turned into creative writing after reading Winesburg, Ohio by Sherwood Anderson. Villa was granted a Guggenheim Fellowship in Creative Writing by American writer Conrad Aiken, wherein he was also awarded a $1,000 prize for outstanding work in American literature, as well as a fellowship from Bollingen Foundation. He was also bestowed an Academy Award for Literature from the American Academy of Arts and Letters in 1943. Villa also won first prize in the poetry category of UP Golden Jubilee Literary Contest in 1958, as well as the Pro Patria Award for Literature in 1961, and the Heritage Award for Poetry and Short Stories a year later. He was conferred with a honoris causa doctorate degree for literature by Far Eastern University in Manila on 1959, and later by University of the Philippines and the National Artist Award for Literature in 1973. He was one of three Filipinos, along with novelist Jose Rizal and translator Nick Joaquin, included in World Poetry, an anthology of verse from antiquity to our time published in 2000, which featured over 1,600 poems written by hundreds of poets in different languages and culture within a span of 40 centuries, dating from the development of early writing in ancient Sumer and Egypt. He was nominated for the 1971 Nobel Prize in Literature by Pasita Habana and other professors from Far Eastern University, and Alejandro Rosas, chair of the UNESCO National Commission of the Philippines. Aside from publishing various collections of poetry, Villa also added to the world of poetic style, introducing a new rhyme scheme called reverse consonants. As Villa explained, the last sounded consonants of the last syllable or the last principal consonants of a word are reversed for the corresponding rhyme. Thus, a rhyme for near would be run or rain, green, rain. Villa also wrote something he called comma poems, where a comma is included after each word in the poem. As explained in the preface to his Volume 2, the commas are an integral and essential part of the medium, regulating the poem's verbal density and time movement, enabling each word to attain a fuller tonal value and the line movement to become more measured. Villa has won numerous awards, including the 1973 National Artist of the Philippines for Literature. His work in both poetry and challenging traditional poetic style continues to have an impact in modern poetry, both for members of the poetry community and other Asian American writers. Footnote to youth. by Jose Garcia Villa. Footnote to Youth is a short story by Jose Garcia Villa that was published in 1933. The year the story was published plays an important role in understanding the story and what it means. Footnote to Youth accentuates the nature of teenage marriage to impress upon the youth its entailing difficulties. The title itself bears a stern reminder about the pitfalls of an unrequited and unplanned love to the youth, who most oftentimes fall prey to the disillusion of love. Footnote to Youth begins with the main character, Dodong, working in the fields. He takes no real joy in his dusty work. He is so distracted, impatient to get home, and tell his father that he has asked Taeyang, the woman he loves, to marry him, and she has accepted. He is preoccupied by feelings of adulthood and masculinity, believing himself to be grown and capable. On the way home, he steps to bath in a creek, a symbolic gesture. He is beginning fresh, starting a new chapter in his life. At home, we see the labors of the home and the trials of old age. Dodong regrets that he doesn't have a sister to help his mother with housework. His father has a terrible and persistent toothache. When he tells his father his news, the latter tries to talk him out of it. Dodong is young, only 17, but because he is only 17, he is headstrong and sure of what he wants, so his father allows him to marry. 9 months later, Taeyang gives birth to a boy, whom they name Blas, as Dodong waits out the childbirth in the yard. He frets to himself about what it will mean to be a father, and he imagines himself having 10 children. He is afraid and despondent rather than excited at the prospect, and he is embarrassed to be a father and to have children and to feel these things, though he does develop a sense of paternal pride upon seeing the baby. Over the course of 6 years, Taeyang gives birth 6 more times, which take its toll on both her body and Dodong's. Both become old beyond their years, and both regret having married so young. Taeyang bitterly wishes she had accepted the hand of another suitor who in these 6 years had married but had no children. Dodong does not want all these children, and one night he stays awake wondering why life can be so cruel when the youth is so full of dreams, so full of hope and expectation. The same night, Blas, now 18, comes home late and is unable to sleep. Dodong asks him what has him so agitated, and sees that the rules of father and son are now reversed, where once Dodong was the stubborn, impatient youth who thought that to marry was to live, and his father was the cautious, objective voice of reason. Now, Dodong's son has asked his girlfriend to marry him, and Dodong wants desperately for the young man to reconsider, but he will not reconsider, and Dodong resignedly gives his consent. Thus, the impatience of youth perpetuates itself, along with the wisdom of years. Though love may at first overcome, life soon catches up.